Hi, I'm Catherine Fawcett with Community Consulting Teams of Boston, which offers pro bono management consulting from top-tier MBAs for Boston area nonprofits. I'm here speaking with Mike Chavez, the Project Development Manager of YouthBuild Boston, to talk about a recent project he worked on with community consulting teams. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Catherine?
Can you tell us quickly about your work with YouthBuild?
So I'm an architect and project development manager here at YouthBuild Boston. And so most of my work tends to focus a lot on affordable housing that we do, development and design of affordable housing. However, I also do some of our special project work. So sometimes I'll try to take on something new or explore something that's within the workforce development realm that we do, but that's different than the core affordable housing and construction training that we do, kind of how we got to CCT.
Can you tell a little bit more about how you came to work with CCT?
Sure. So actually, we had done a project with CCT many years ago. And when this opportunity came up again this year for exploring this program that we're working on now, we thought that we couldn't pass this up. And so we reapplied, and luckily we were able to work with you all on this project.
For this project, this round, can you tell us about the strategic question that you were trying to address?
So as you know, with any nonprofit, there's always a fine line between being able to provide a service to the demographic that you're working with and getting paid for it. One of the things that we were doing with this facilities maintenance program, it's the very first facilities maintenance apprenticeship that's been launched in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And so we spent a lot of time up front, writing curriculum, really diving into the actual program model itself, and then launching it with Winn Residential. However, along the way, we were also not paying ourselves for the work. We were really focusing more on the program side of it and not necessarily the business side of it. And so the big strategic question is, what is the long-term role that YouthBuild Boston would play in this model, in this apprenticeship program? And how do we get compensated for the work that we're doing as well? Because we can't do this forever without that compensation side of it. And so CCT was able to help us really dive deeper, more into a feasibility study and analysis into the business model itself to help us explore that.
Was CCT able to address this?
Yes, they were actually. They really did a great job of digging deeper into our organization model as a whole. So YouthBuild Boston, how we provide services to the people we work with, and how we do our affordable housing, how we do program development. They also dove into Winn's model and what they do. And I think they did a really good job of just understanding our organization as a whole, and then how that relates to the program model that we're launching, and looking at what were similarities between that program and other programs we run, what were the differences, how do we pay for our other programs, and what are we missing from this one. So they also did a lot of research and engagement with other companies and other nonprofits who do somewhat similar work to help see what the market share might look like out there, and how we're providing a service that might be different and or the same as others. They were able to address it in many ways by really understanding what we were trying to do.
And what was it like to work with a volunteer consulting team?
I think there's a difference between working with a volunteer consulting team and CCT, right? I think, the way that we worked with you all, it really felt like we were paying, tens of thousands of dollars to hire a consulting team to really do some really high quality work. So it didn't necessarily feel like a traditional volunteer group where it's kind of, maybe a little bit lighter, I guess you could say, right? And so on a number of various levels, we were really excited about it. You guys were friendly, you kept us on task. You were checking in with us regularly. We had weekly calls. There was a lot of work that was being done. So I was just really impressed about the professionalism and the level of work you really did as a volunteer group.
While your project was underway, obviously COVID-19 happened. What implications did this have for the project?
Yeah, I mean, what a year to be exploring new initiatives. No one expected this. And when COVID-19 hit, this was in March, so we were kind of in the middle of the meat of our work together as a group. And for a few weeks there, when everyone started to stay home, things were being shut down, we were kind of all figuring it out together, just across the nation, right, across the globe, what was going on. We took a pause for a minute and decided to just kind of hold on and see where things were going. But being in the workforce development field and when continuing their work as building managers, where it actually becomes much more important than ever before, because that work doesn't end, right? And so what we did is we then picked up where we left off and decided to continue pursuing the project, but doing it virtually and in ways that we could. We were more excited about the results at the end because it's that much more important now, especially the needs that we're facing now with COVID-19.
And what did you find most valuable about the project?
I think the CCT team was able to work through our strategic question very kind of clear, professional, in a specific way that allowed us to make educated decisions about our project. So, when we started this thing, it was a little bit more of like a gut feeling, right? And saying that we think that this is an important move. This is something that the field needs when it comes to facilities maintenance. They were able to help us divvy that up as to say why and how do we do this right, and how we were able to accomplish it properly.
Was there anything that was surprising about the team's findings?
Honestly, I would have to say no. We didn't have the reasoning or the feasibility and the analysis behind why we thought what we thought. And CCT was able to come in, do the research, really dive deep and extract all the information that we really needed to say, okay, we think we knew this, but now you helped us very clearly understand why we knew this. And not only internally as a program and individual staff members, we were also able to explore this with our board and with Winn Residential and their team.
Fast forward to today, what do you plan to do with the findings?
Right. So when we finished, the project in the summer, our board has been including this conversation throughout the summer and up until now about what we're going to be doing moving forward. CCC team put together a very nicely laid out deck to work through where they had all of their findings and then their recommendations at the end. And so we're actually working through those recommendations as we speak. One of the long-term goals of this program is to scale it. And so, we were stepping back for a second and looking at the analysis that the CC team was able to do. And then we're analyzing that as we speak now and kind of going through decisions to help us in the near term here in the city of Boston, what it looks like in the state of Massachusetts, and then potentially elsewhere outside of the state. So it's really helped us with that business model to work through that. And that's what we're doing right now.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience. Such a great opportunity to work with your organization, and we'll definitely all be watching what's next for YouthBuild.